Hello, welcome to Land of Enchantment Living. My name is Maria. I'm so happy you guys are joining me for this video. Believe it or not, guys, this is my first 4th of July crafting video, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am about these crafts. I really hope you guys enjoy this video, so let's go ahead and get started with our first project. For this first project, you will need one wood panel. This one is from the Dollar Tree Plus section. I have this 2023 Dollar Tree calendar, and I picked it up years ago for 25 cents. I will be using the July print that reads Land of the Free, some Waverly wax in the color Antique, some Mod Podge, and some Folk Art Crackle Medium, some acrylic paint in the color white, and English Navy. I'll start by painting the border and the back of the wood panel with the antiquing glaze, and because I want some of the wood grain to show, I'll rub some of the wax off with a paper towel and set it aside to dry for about 5 minutes. Next, I'll apply the crackle medium to the border, and for this step I definitely didn't add enough crackle medium because when I applied my English Navy acrylic paint, the crackle was pretty much non-existent, so learn from my mistakes and apply a generous amount of the crackle medium. So once I finish applying the crackle, I set it aside to dry, and the recommended drying time is 20 minutes. And while that was drying, I went ahead and painted the inside with some Mod Podge and let that dry as well, because I will be applying the print using the iron-on decoupage method. And here I am painting on the English Navy acrylic paint. I'll let that dry completely for about 5 minutes, and then I'll apply a generous amount of the crackle medium and let that dry for 20 minutes. Next, I'll paint on the white acrylic paint, and here is where you can really see the crackle finish. Why so much paint? Well, I wanted this art piece to have a very old, distressed, vintage look. I wanted the frame to look as if it had been painted several times with different colors and the paint was chipping away. And here I'm taking a damp paper towel and rubbing off some of the white paint so the English Navy paint is more visible, and this is going to add to the distressed look that I'm going for. Now it's time to apply the print. I'll cut it down to size, place it inside the wood panel, then place a piece of parchment paper on top of the print to protect the ink and start ironing it down using my Cricut mini heat press. The heat from the press will make the Mod Podge tacky and the print will stick to the surface. Next, I'll take some of the crackle medium and apply it to different areas of the print, and I'll set this aside to dry. Once it's dry, I'll paint over those areas with some white acrylic paint, and I'll also do some dry brushing over the entire print, then set this aside to dry completely for about 5 minutes. For the finishing touch, I will take my distress ink in the colors Vintage Photo and Walnut and apply it all around the edges of the print and the frame. I later on applied a little bit of the antiquing wax to the edges, but didn't film that portion. But applying the ink is going to bring out all the details of the crackle paint, giving this piece that old vintage look. I do want to mention that I did let this dry overnight, and then the next day I came in and sealed it with this acrylic sealer in a matte finish. And here's our finished project. This turned out even better than I imagined. I really think I was able to make this piece look like it's been around for a really long time. What do you guys think of this project? Let me know in the comment box below. For this project, you will need one wooden crate from the Dollar Tree. This one has the handle openings on this side, some dowels. I got these wooden dowels at Hobby Lobby, some star stencils. These are, of course, from Dollar Tree, some rubber stamps. These are the Recollection brand, but Dollar Tree does carry some alphabet stamps, a black ink pad, acrylic paint in the colors red, white, and blue, some coffee stain. I'll leave the recipe to this stain in the description box below. We will be making a firecracker storage crate. I'll start by staining the crate and dowels, and I use a paper towel to remove any excess stain. I'll set this aside to dry for about 5 minutes. Now this coffee stain is very subtle, allowing the wood grain to show, and the wood soaks it up nicely and it smells really good. I hope you guys give this stain a try, so definitely check out that recipe. It is so easy to make. Now I do want to mention that I stained the entire crate. So now that the stain is dry, I'm going to add a light coat of red, white, and blue acrylic paint, creating stripes on the front and back of the crate. Once the paint is dry, I'm going to stamp on the words USA Made to the white stripes, both front and back, and on the sides of the crate, I will stamp on the year 1776. Next, I'll take my Dollar Tree star stencil and stencil on a red, white, and blue striped star, and I'll stencil this on next to the year, and I do this to both sides. To finish off this crate, I'll hot glue the dowels, creating little legs to the bottom corners of the crate. And here's our finished project. It turned out so cute, and you can actually fill this with some red and white blue flowers or other 4th of July inspired items. What do you guys think of this project? Did you guys like this one? Let me know in the comment box below. For this next project, you will need a heatless curling set from Dollar Tree, twine, some blue textured scrapbook paper. I got this paper at Hobby Lobby, and some fabric also from Hobby Lobby. This has a red, white, and blue star print. You will also need some hot glue and Mod Podge. We will be making some firecrackers. You want to start by removing the satin cover from the foam rod. Then I will measure out 3 inches and cut the foam using my crafting knife. Next, I will cut my scrapbook paper into 2-inch strips and the fabric into 2.5-inch strips. I want to make sure that I cut a little extra to be able to wrap the paper and fabric over and around the bottom and top of the rod. Once I have my paper cut, I'll take the paper, wrap it around the foam rod, make a mark where the paper overlaps just a little, then cut the paper at that mark, then use that as a guide to cut the rest of the paper and fabric to size. Next, I'll take the paper, wrap it around the foam rod, fold the paper over the rod edges, roughing the paper up at that fold, making it more pliable. I'll add some hot glue down the edge of the paper, wrap the paper around the rod, and add some more hot glue along the other end, securing it into place. For the bottom part of the firecracker, I'll apply a generous amount of Mod Podge to the rod and paper. This will help make the paper more pliable. I'll bend the paper onto the foam rod, pressing any excess paper into the hole. Once the Mod Podge dries, the paper will stay in place. Next, I'll take the fabric, line up the fabric with the paper, and I want to make sure to overlap the fabric over the paper. I'll add some hot glue to the fabric along the edge and the bottom where the fabric overlaps the paper, wrap the fabric around the foam, and then add some more hot glue along the other end, securing the fabric into place. And any extra fabric I'll press into the hole of the foam rod using this sculpting tool. I'll then cut a piece of twine. This will serve as our fuse. I'll apply some hot glue in the hole, then press the twine down into the hole, and our first firecracker is done. I'll repeat this same step for the rest of them, and in total I made 8 of these firecrackers. So this next step is completely optional. I took this circle paper cutter and used it to cut 8 circles. I will be attaching them to the bottom of the firecracker with some Mod Podge. This will give them a clean finished look. And here's our finished project. I absolutely love the way they turned out. They are so cute. Here I have them in the crate I made. What do you guys think of this project? Let me know in the comment box below. If you're not a big fan of the distressed look, then this next project is for you. For this project, you will need a 5x7 picture frame. I picked this one up at Dollar Tree and I thought the colors were perfect for this project. I got this Patriotic gold rub-on transfer, also from Dollar Tree, and some red, white, and blue acrylic paint. I'll start by removing the backing and glass from the frame, and then I'll apply 2 coats of the red, white, and blue paint on one side of the glass, applying it at an angle from corner to corner. I'll set this aside to dry completely for about 15 minutes. Next, I'll cut the portion of the rub-on transfer that I will be using. Once the paint is dry, I'll flip the glass over, then place my transfer onto the opposite side of the painted glass and start rubbing the transfer on. Now, I have to tell you guys that the Freedom letters gave me a really hard time. They were just not transferring onto the glass. So I ended up removing whatever did transfer over, and I added the Star Spangled Banner words instead. Sometimes with crafting, things don't always go as planned, but in the end, it turned out really nice. And here's our finished project. I was a little worried about the transfer, but it turned out really pretty. What do you guys think of this project? Let me know in the comment box below. If you enjoyed any of these projects, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Leave me a comment. I love chatting with all of you guys. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. Bye!